to play Brentford. Cucurella, James, Palmer and Gusto return. Heito, Fofana, Buonanotte get into the ones who drop out. Sanchez is in goal, back four of Gusto, Tosin, Chalobah and Cucurella. James and Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, with Palmer, Pedro and Pedro Neto completing that lineup for a Chelsea side in their royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks. What would be a good result then for Chelsea here this evening?
Yeah, I mean, a draw would be absolutely fine. Well, they've won the first small battle of Chelsea, because I don't think I've ever been here when Bayern Munich have been chasing into their own fans in the first half. Chelsea have turned them round, and that has annoyed them, which it always does. I used to always talk about this and didn't understand why teams didn't do that, win the toss and turn the home team round. Well, everybody seems to be doing it now, and Chelsea have done that, so well done. First win, that one from Reece James, who must have won the toss.
So that means that Bayern Munich will be playing from left to right as we look. They'll be attacking the Sud curve, which is where their supporters in this three-tiered bowl-like arena, with the flags flying, as Jose Maria Sanchez, our Spanish referee, blows his whistle, and we are underway. BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app, also available on the iPlayer, the red button, and the BBC Sport website if you wish to listen and watch the video printer as well. And on Sports Extra, League Cup action, Swansea City against Nottingham Forest as an alternative. And that end I'm talking about now, it's bouncing up and down in unison as Bayern are quickly out towards that far side, the left, and Stanisic has gone forward. The ball though goes back in towards the centre circle. Upamecano out towards Elise, formerly of Crystal Palace. Kimmich drops back alongside Upamecano. Enzo Fernandez presses and then barges into Kimmich for good measure as he sees it back towards Neuer.
What you mentioned there, I think, is very, very important. Enzo Fernandez is the furthest player up the field for Chelsea, so it does look as if they're going to have a little bit of a go at it. They're not going to play as a 4-3-3. They're going to try and get Enzo up there, right behind centre forward João Pedro, and you know that will mean the game's going to open out a bit. We'll just see how much Reece James feels a much more defensive position.
Sanchez has hit a ball over the top. Gusto is the one who's gone forward. He has a look round, pulls it back. Pedro Neto couldn't get there. That was a chance for Chelsea. It was into the 6-yard area. It was probably an awkward one for Pedro Neto to control, and it was probably just glanced away off his right boot as he arrived at pace into the penalty area.
We were talking just before the game of how open are Chelsea going to be, and I was saying, look, you know, this is a game that's going to be the hardest game, the most likely to lose. Go out and have a dig, go enjoy it, see what you can do. I tell you what, they are right from the start here. They want to go and attack it now. There's quite a complaint down here from the Chelsea players. I think they feel there was...
They're saying it should have been a corner kick, and in fact 4 Chelsea players have gone around to the Spanish referee, but he is insistent that Cucurella, who wanted to place the ball down in the quadrant, takes the throw. As Chelsea play from right to left as we look here in the Allianz Arena, live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Cucurella in towards João Pedro, comes out towards Tosin, little flick off the heel of the right boot, and then Chalobah is the one to see it back to Sanchez, takes it on the chest, controls it, plays it forward, and Chalobah, still inside his own half, will play the ball infield, and James was taking no chances, and he goes all the way back to Sanchez, because Pavlovic, wearing a face mask, was in close proximity. Now it is with Cucurella on this near side, but I've got to say, I know we've only been playing for 2.5 minutes, but it's a very confident start from Chelsea.
It's more than a confident start, it's a very unusual start. Chalobah's standing so far in the right wing there, he's almost looks as if he's attacking, but I think we'll get back to that in a minute, because there may be news elsewhere.
Goal at Anfield, Masfarouki.
Early start, great start for Liverpool. A deflected Mo Salah free kick just on the right, just outside the Atleti area. Gravenberch was brought down, he took his time to take it. It deflected, I think, in off the wall. The goalkeeper didn't move. Liverpool 1, Atletico Madrid 0.
Liverpool, who topped the group in terms of the league phase last year with 21 points, then leading. Paris Saint-Germain, of course the champions, have also scored early at home to Atalanta. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Atalanta 0. The other game taking place tonight is Ajax against Inter. The results earlier: Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0, Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2. Bodo Glimt on their Champions League debut, coming from 2-0 down.
I was mentioning before there about the kind of muscular start from Chelsea. It's really unusual tactics when they're on the ball. Chalobah, as the right centre-back, goes so far out, well beyond right back area. And what happens is Reece James goes back in the centre-back there. But they chase so far up the pitch. They had a throw-in down by the 18-yard line of Bayern Munich. They only left one player back. This is away from home at Bayern Munich. This is ultra positive, this start from Chelsea, and I think it's just to try and get some control of the game.
Well, they've certainly had that in the early exchanges. Sanchez from goal, out towards Cucurella, heads it in field. Pedro Neto is there. João Pedro can't pick it up, and now it'll be brought away by Pavlovic. Alexander Pavlovic, this 21-year-old midfielder, German international, dark hair, wearing the dark face mask as it goes back to Tar in the defence. Upamecano. All the way back then to Manuel Neuer, and Manuel Neuer strokes it back towards the French international, who comes forward and plays it up towards Elise. Elise controls it, finds Gnabry with the bushy hair. Now it's with Konrad Laimer playing as a right back, the Austrian midfielder, a little bit like Kimmich. He's been adapted, he can play in both the roles, but he's played there actually last season, and very, very impressive as well, the industrious Austrian international with his fair hair. And Bayern all of a sudden now have their first sustained spell of possession as they now pass it in the midfield and across the back. And another goal at Anfield, Maz Farouki.
Second for Liverpool. This one is from Mo Salah. Maisie run into the area down the right-hand side, not picked up by Atleti's defence, and fires it into the back of the net. The first goal actually credited to Andy Robertson. He got a touch on it on the wall, but regardless, it's a great start from Liverpool. They lead by 2-0.
It is certainly a great start. 2-0 up there at Anfield. BBC Radio 5 Live tomorrow night for our third successive night of Champions League action. Newcastle United against Barcelona from 7:05. Brings back memory of that Tino Asprilla hat-trick all those years ago in the late 90s as Cole Palmer tries to roll away from his man, but Stanisic comes inside, tracks the run, gets the ball and plays it all the way back to Neuer.
It's great for Newcastle, you know. Think of all the years the fans have been waiting for it, and they've had a couple of little glimpses of it now, but games against Barcelona, very, very special for the North East.
That's something to look forward to. From the throw, an interception for Palmer to run forward on the Chelsea right. Palmer right side of the penalty area. He's picked out the run of Enzo Fernandez. He just couldn't take it in his stride. Whether the ball bobbled, goal kick has been awarded, but he just seemed to cut through that Bayern defence.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant by Cole Palmer. Effortless the way he plays it, and he plays an early ball, and he just cannot get his feet right. That's the problem, isn't it? Nothing more than that. He can't get his feet right, and because of that, bobbles off him. That was a very good chance for Chelsea. Certainly the best chance of the game by some distance, but poor defending by Bayern Munich to give Cole Palmer the ball in the first place.
Elise now passes the ball forward. Luis Diaz, formerly of Liverpool, of course, on the right-hand side. They've doubled up on Luis Diaz, who plays it back towards Elise. He's got to just track a little bit further back than maybe he would have wanted. And now Chelsea have every Royal Blue shirt back behind the ball, but Elise will come forward, out towards Diaz. Right-hand side, Diaz with a cross. Harry Kane rises, but his header is off target, and it will be a goal kick, but a first glimpse of attacking intent from the German champions.
Yeah, isn't it incredible the amount of times a ball was put in a box that Harry Kane seems to be on the end of it? He's got a magnet in his head, and he always seems to get there. He couldn't quite get it on target there, but just over the goalkeeper and over the crossbar and no more. But well, just looking at it there, not even getting close to him. Pretty open game so far, and an enjoyable one too.
8 minutes played. Familiar voice of Pat Nevin with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Sanchez has got to take that goal kick again away towards right-hand side. Already he strikes me as somebody quite officious, does Jose Maria Sanchez.
He seems to want to be noticed at the moment. He's got a very Rick style about him, you know. Tells your eye to him, which is not exactly what you always want from a referee.
Ball out towards Gusto at right back, looking for the run of João Pedro. The ball, though, will drift and go straight out of play for a Bayern throw over on that far side. And then back to Neuer. Bayern captain, 39 years of age, still going as strong as ever. Certainly after recovering from that broken leg a couple of years ago. In a skiing accident where he missed just short of 50 appearances for Bayern during that time, as Upamecano out towards that far side. Stanisic plays it back towards the Bayern Munich goalkeeper, all in green away towards our left. He comes out of his penalty area and hits a forward ball.
What a pass. It's a 70-yard, 60-yard pass there from Neuer.
Stanisic was forward. This is Diaz from long range. He must have been over 30 yards out there, right-footed. He apologised to Elise, who was wanting the ball on the right-hand side. He went for goal, and it's gone out for a goal kick, 0-0.
Slightly surprised that Bayern haven't actually managed to do that. Elise has got on the ball a couple of times, and he just looks fantastic on the ball just now, but he's not going to the byline or get past Cucurella yet. But Diaz on that far side there, I thought he would be the one that would get the ball to quite a bit, just to find out how good Malo Gusto's defending is.
Pavlovic in the centre circle plays the ball all the way back towards Neuer. We're in the 10th minute here, it remains goalless. Liverpool, though, lead by 2-0. Paris Saint-Germain are 1-0 up against Atalanta. Swansea, Nottingham Forest remains 0-0 in the League Cup third round. Commentary of that continues on Sports Extra. Stanisic comes forward, the Croatian international, able to run forward. Runs in field, Harry Kane couldn't take it in his stride. Likewise, couldn't guide the ball into the path of Elise either. And then Chelsea lose the ball. Luis Diaz will win it back for Bayern Munich, predominantly all in red. Pavlovic now towards Tar in the centre circle. He goes square and out towards his right. Upamecano short of the halfway line, goes back towards Jonathan Tah. Picked up in the summer for €2 million from Bayer Leverkusen. Spent a decade actually at Bayer Leverkusen, as now Pavlovic charges forward from that left-hand side, left corner of the area, can't thread it through towards Harry Kane. The blue shirts were there in numbers, but they've won it back through Gnabry. Gnabry will shoot, and left-footed, off-target, goal kick, 0-0. But it's been a good watch.
It has been a good watch. There's some mistakes there, which always happen. Helps if you're going to get an exciting game there. But just watching Chelsea consistently, it would have been interesting to see if they come in with some sort of inferiority complex about coming here, these young players. No, absolutely not. They completely believe in themselves as a group and as a bunch of individuals as well.
Ball up towards João Pedro, tries to give Tar the slip. Tar though back his goal side. João Pedro, Fernandes, this is Neto, left-hand side, crosses cleared by Conrad Lima. Cucurella been given the boos and the whistles from the Bayern supporters. Here is Cucurella once again. That stems back actually, even if you recall, to international level, isn't it?
That's exactly where it comes from, and he went down too easily a few times.
Gusto gets round the back. Gusto with a cross. Upamecano has to deal with it and puts it out of play, because we were together in Stuttgart at the Euros.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually stunning because it was that offensive to the German nation, the way he was throwing himself to the ground. Actually, Cucurella doesn't do it as much for Chelsea, but and by the way, it's not just German fans that do that. There's plenty of others that do Cucurella for his willingness to be easily felled.
He's the pantomime villain. Chelsea take the corner short. Caicedo, 30 yards out, looks for Cucurella, gets his head onto it. That would have silenced the critics, but his header is off target. Goal kick remains 0-0. Had to think of the venue there. I was testing the old memory bank.
Well, you have to remember, we've done a lot of games chasing about. It was a very good World Cup at that stage. Euros.
That was the Mikel Moreno winning goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He did the celebration around the corner flag on the same ground where his dad had done it many years ago. Anyway, exactly a year ago today, Bayern beat Dinamo Zagreb 9-2 in their opening game in the Champions League. We haven't yet to have, not thinking we're going to get 11 tonight, we haven't had one so far, but can't believe that it would remain 0-0 with the quality that we've got on show, as Gnabry spreads it out towards Elise, and it's a pacey ball, one bounce, and it zips in front of Elise and goes out for a Chelsea throw. However, Bayern have won their opening match in each of the last 21 Champions League campaigns, and they've kept 18 clean sheets in the process. That goes all the way back to September 2002, when they were beaten 3-2 by Deportivo La Coruña. 0-0 here in the Champions League. Palmer tries to wriggle free, was having his shirt pulled, looks for the ball over the top, cut out by Lima, and a goal in the League Cup. Laura Kenyon.
Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. The Premier League visitors take the lead. Postecoglou's had just over a week to instil his philosophy and they're off the mark. Igor Jesus turning it in from close range. Swansea 0, Forest 1.
Commentary on Sports Extra. Update from Anfield, Masfarouki.
First opportunity for Athletic from a corner, which Liverpool have cleared. First contributions from Alexander Isak as well, hassling, pressing the Atleti Madrid keeper in defence. Good link-up play as well with Gravenberch, but no need to force anything when Liverpool look really comfortable, leading by 2-0, 15 minutes played.
Thanks, Maz. 0-0 here in Munich. Live and exclusive commentary from inside the stadium. There is certainly no substitute to being here. Bayern 0, Chelsea 0. Bayern playing from left to right have got a free kick a few yards in from the right touchline, just, I would say, just over 25 yards out from goal. Palmer is the solitary figure that stands 10 yards away from the free kick. Elise is complaining that he's not far enough away. If Elise is to take it, it should be an in-swinger. If it's Kimmich, it's going to be a right-footed out-swinger. Kimmich runs forward, he leaves it for Elise, who now, with a little touch, now runs forward and then floats it towards Gnabry at the far post, and he can't keep the ball in play. Goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah,
Quarter of an hour play.
It didn't look the best defender with Chelsea. They'd left Gnabry, I think it was, at the back post there. I mean, he went a little bit too early, but the Chelsea line, actually, I'm going to change my mind on that. That was brilliant defending because they all ran out at the same time and left about 6 players offside. It wouldn't cheer Chelsea fans up too much, but that was reminiscent of an Arsenal team many years ago that used to do that.
Sanchez clears long. João Pedro beaten in the air by Jonathan Tah. Pavlovic in the midfield touches the ball towards Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich, the 30-year-old, a centurion for Germany, 103 caps now for his country, as Upamecano tries to pass that ball forward, and it's Lima who actually charges after it from right back and continues in pursuit of the ball, and it was Sanchez who had to clear it, and he did, to find Palmer, who holds it up on the halfway line, lays it off towards the Chelsea captain. Reece James, Caicedo. The boos will tell you that Cucurella has just had a touch. Pedro Neto standing still. They're all joining in now. James spreads the ball. Malo Gusto is forward, too far ahead of him. It'll go out of play for a Bayern throw. Down by the corner flag, far side, 0-0.
It's quite noticeable that Chelsea obviously have been listening to some of the great names in football to see where the weaknesses would be in Bayern Munich, such as Julien Laurent, who told us that the problem would be at left back, and it is at left back. That's where they look weakest just now. Certainly Stanisic getting round the back of him time and time again. Sometimes it's Cole Palmer, a couple of times it's been Malo Gusto as well. So if there looks like a place where Chelsea are going to make a breakthrough, it could well be there.
It's interesting that they don't have natural fullbacks, either right or left, in Konrad Lima or Josip Stanisic.
It's strange that the teams don't go for that so much at the moment, because there's such... Oh, that's a bit of a harsh one there, referee spotted it, well done.
Jonathan Tah clipping the heels of João Pedro. Free kick to Chelsea, forward of the centre circle, 0-0.
Well, just them specialist left backs. I mean, if you put a centre back out in the full back area, there's very few that can do it any good at all. And you look around world football just now, how much money's been spent on wingers, out and out wingers, particularly in the English game just now. It's stunning how popular they are just now. And to think a top team like this haven't got a specified right back or full back on the pitch. I mean, there's one or two in the squad, and there is one injured.
Yeah, Guerrero picked an injury actually against Hamburg at the weekend, although he didn't start against Hamburg. Portuguese international. Cucurella chips it long and forward, offside against João Pedro. That'll be a free kick to Bayern Munich. After Chelsea's encouraging start, do you think in the last 10 minutes it's become a little bit more cagey?
Yeah, it has. It's kind of settled down. They've kind of figured out each other where they're playing. The systems are both playing just now, and it's getting a little bit more right. Okay, we know what you're doing. We know where we're trying to attack. But you know that it could change in a second. It just needs a half a chance that it could change.
Gnabry gets away from Caicedo, gives it to Luis Diaz, running on his toes. Chalobah backpedals, edge of the area. Harry Kane lets it run through towards Gnabry. Gnabry onto his left foot, shot blocked by Cucurella. Comes out towards Pavlovic. Gnabry, because of Chelsea's press, has to release the ball quickly. But there was Caicedo, who's been penalised for chopping down Kimmich, and that'll be a free kick to Bayern Munich. Central position, 30 yards from goal, 0-0.
I think he'd have booked Caicedo there. except that Tar had done a very similar thing just a few moments before to João Pedro. And he's ripped through the back of him, and I think he gets a bit of the ball. He probably gets a bit of the player as well, so referee gives a free kick. Probably just about the right decision.
Talking to Harry Kane and talking about the expectation of these Bayern Munich supporters. Haven't won this competition since 2020. He talks about small moments, though, that have denied him in his previous 2 seasons since he moved to Germany. But this is a free kick that Kimmich stands over, central position. Harry Kane watches on. Kimmich will play. Oh, the referee's got in the way. Yeah. He's tried to sweep it quickly out towards Luis Diaz, and the referee, I think, was asked for a retake.
Well, you can't really blame the referee there.
No.
He stood static. It's a free kick, and he's just hit him with it.
It'll have to be an uncontested drop ball, and there it is. Kimmich out towards Elise. He goes to the right this time. Elise now tries to attack João Pedro. Plays it in low and steered it. Steered into the far post by Upamecano. But the fact that they're running towards Elise tells me that the deflection might have come up a Chelsea player. They have that proud record of scoring here. The red and white scarves are being swirled around the head. That pacey ball delivered in by Elise delivers the opening goal. Chelsea are behind. Bayern Munich 1, Chelsea 0.
Well, the first thing you've got to say, Chelsea fell slightly asleep there because they thought it was going to be another free kick. It wasn't another free kick. They were slow to get out there, and when Elise gets the ball there, he just cruises beyond there. And it's the simplicity in which he goes beyond, gets the ball into the middle, and it's a simple thing. If you're a defender, you don't want to touch it. 2 Chelsea players try to leave it. Chalobah tries to leave it himself, can't, hits off his knee, and it's a goal. You just said it had gone quiet, and I thought that's when you're careful. That's when you have to worry about it, because that's when the good players see space.
My instincts were correct, because whilst Upamecano did make an attempt to get the ball, it did come off the knee of Trevor Chalobah first. It has gone down as an own goal, and that's why they ran towards Elise. But it was such a wicked ball in, wasn't it?
But part of the problem that Chelsea have got there, they haven't got themselves set up. So you get Elise out in the wide area there. Who's he up against? Is your left back out there ready to tackle him? Absolutely not. It's João Pedro. If you're a winger and you've got a guy who's basically a centre forward or a number 10 playing against you in that final third there, especially a top world-class winger like Elise, he's just going to get to the byline with ease. And I think Enzo Maresco down there was furious, and I suspect that is what he was furious about.
And now all of a sudden Bayern are buoyant, and they're urged on to go for a second, but stepping out of defence was Gusto. However, he's lost the ball, and now Harry Kane has it once again. Looks for Luis Diaz, and Chalobah is the one who almost loses his balance as he's rocked back on his heels to clear the ball away. It means that Bayern Munich now have failed to score just once in their last 38 home games in the Champions League. And that was a goalless draw against Copenhagen in November of 2023. They lead Chelsea by a 1-0. We are midway through this first half. What's the latest at Anfield? Mas Farouki.
Liverpool still lead 2-0, but a first field opportunity for Atletico Madrid. A ball from the right flashed across the face of goal by Conor Gallagher, but no one was in the middle to get on the end of it. And then Salah with a really good effort just off target at the other end. He certainly looks in the mood this evening. Liverpool lead 2-0.
Bayern Munich are on the attack. Konrad Laimer on this near side, back towards Elise. Elise to Kimmich, back with Elise once again. Nice little drag back into the path of Kimmich on the right. Kimmich down towards the byline and can't chip over the cross as he stubs it wide and behind for a goal kick, but the tails are up for the home side.
Yeah, and Elise, he's loving it just now. That little back flick round the corner to Kimmich takes 2 players out of the play there. An absolutely beautiful play. Kimmich's giving them a little round of applause behind his own back. It was interesting, just after the free kick was taken, hit the referee, so it's a drop ball. And yeah, right, okay, we say that they're not prepared for it, but you should be in possession, and it's up to a fullback to get out there and make sure you're marking your man. The first person to go and have a dig at the referee was Cucurella. Straight over at him saying, what are you doing, what are you doing? Well, the referee's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And Cucurella was not doing the right thing. He wasn't out there, left his man, posted missing, and that's why the goal was lost.
Pat Nevin with the analysis on BBC Radio 5 Live. Talk about Harry Kane's fine form. Elise, who in his first season last season when he arrived in Germany, that £60 million move, the fourth most expensive signing from Crystal Palace. 20 goals he scored in that fine first season, but he's already scored 4 in 5 this season as Gnabry turns and then chips it out towards Stanisic on that far side. Harry Kane drops off and now passes the ball forward, the England captain, to Luis Diaz, and Luis Diaz comes in off that left touchline, edge of the area. Luis Diaz now leaves it. Stanisic plays the ball back. This is Kimmich, 30 yards out. Bayern lead by a goal to nil. BBC Radio 5 Live also available on the BBC Sounds app, and the iPlayer and the red button as well. Out towards Elise. Cucurella has to backpedal, dinks it into the path of Lima. Lima is able to turn. Cucurella comes towards him. Enzo Fernandez was also there. Vincent Kompany thought that he should have had a corner kick, but instead the Spanish officials will give a goal kick to Chelsea, which he's already taken.
Absolutely brilliant, Elise again. He's got 2 players on him there, come out. As Cucurella's come on him and Enzo Fernandez come on him. So what did he do? Flicked it through both of them, took both of them out of play.
Harry Kane rolls Caicedo, goes down inside the penalty area. Strong appeals for a penalty. The referee's given it. The referee had a long, hard look, and after a moment's hesitation, Bayern Munich have been awarded a penalty. Enzo Maresca complains.
That's very strange, that. Now, number one, I think it looked like a penalty, but he didn't give it right away. And he gave it 3, 4, 5 seconds. Thought about it, let the play go up. Usually in those situations, you let the play go on, and it'll go out, and then you can look at the VAR. But he's not waited for that, has he? So he's changed the perspective in this decision now. So we'll have another look at it again. Oh, he's not going. That's not going to be turned around by VAR, I don't think. Not a hope.
Caicedo wrapping his legs around Harry Kane. Harry Kane falling forward, going to ground. And Jose Maria Sanchez. Now Harry Kane has scored his last 32 penalties for club and country. And he's already bagged 2 from the spot this season as well.
By the way, we've just said that. We get bombarded with stats. That's up there. That is absolutely phenomenal to get 32 in a row for the penalties. But I know you're supposed to score penalties, but nobody does that. That is extraordinary.
His last miss from the spot was actually for England against France in the World Cup in December of 2022 in Qatar. Harry Kane, the former Tottenham striker, waits. He's poised. He is Mr. Reliable from the penalty spot. Harry Kane now runs up. He doesn't miss this time. Right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Finds the bottom right-hand corner. Harry Kane now with 33 successive spot kicks, and Bayern increase their lead by 2 goals to nil.
Well, fantastic penalty. I mean, every penalty goes in the net's good, but real power, down low, sends keeper the wrong way. Absolutely everything's perfect about it. And I mean, it was only about a minute after you said it's gone a little bit quiet this game, and then suddenly, from nowhere, Bayern Munich see that Chelsea have. Well, they did switch off in the free kick, but also they've thought, right, okay, we've got ourselves a foothold in the game, and they've not really concentrated the same way. 2 switches of concentration, Bayern battered, and it's what we were talking about before the game, isn't it? There's a lot to learn in this competition, isn't there? You cannot turn off for a second.
It was such a sweet penalty, wasn't it? It was driven low and hard, right along the ground into the bottom right-hand corner. And Bayern now lead Chelsea by 2 goals to nil, and James has given the ball away towards Elise. Elise trying to dance his way through. James actually recovers and redeems himself by winning the ball back. And then Caicedo now towards Cole Palmer. There's been an off-the-ball incident there between Upamecano and João Pedro. Here is Cole Palmer, back towards Palmer. Palmer scores! Chelsea are right back in it. What a response from Chelsea. Cole Palmer left-footed into the roof of the net. It is Bayern 2, Chelsea 1. A great refereeing as well, because the referee has since shown a yellow card, I think, to a Bayern defender.
Yeah, that was happening off the ball there. I mean, right now, Reece James is having a dig at the referee, saying possible red card, I think he's asking for there. But referee said, well done, keep on playing on. He will have a look at it. The VAR will definitely have a look at it. It was well off the ball. And they're having a dig over here. But let's concentrate on the goal. Cole Palmer gets it in his own half, drives, drags 3 players towards him, little reverse ball, and his finish. He makes that look so staggeringly easy, stunningly easy. And by the way, just to keep you informed here, Enzo Maresco has now got a yellow card as well for having a little bit of dig at the referee. But hey, the finish you had, it came from the penalty spot, was a good finish. That finish with Cole Palmer was right off his scale. Top corner, brilliant. It could have got very ugly after that. Suddenly, actually looks okay. Chelsea could get back into this game.
So Enzo Maresca has been booked by the Spanish referee. I'll confirm in a moment who the Bayern player was, and in fact it was Jonathan Tah who was shown the yellow card. But João Pedro is still down for that off-the-ball incident. But it wasn't Tah, actually, I don't think, who fouled him. It was Upamecano.
Was it? Ah, right, because we had to follow the ball there. Well, you have to say that João Pedro went down and rolled about as if, wait a minute, that was an elbow. We've got some pictures here. They've not shown us it. It's straight over there. There's no big argument back, is there, about the yellow card?
No. Harry Kane now having a word with the Spanish referee. Vital, though, that Chelsea got back into the game ASAP.
Well, to be honest, they'd gone very, very quiet. It's going to happen. I mean, you're playing away Bayern Munich in this stadium. There are going to be periods you're up against it. But you go 2 goals down there, you're heading towards half-time. It could start getting very, very ugly. But Chelsea had, at the start of the game, looked very, very dangerous on the break, particularly down that right-hand side. This, again, came from the right-hand side. But you've got to say, Cole Palmer, the intelligence of running with the ball, dragging 3 players, reverse pass, and then getting the 1-2. Most players would take a touch or two, steady themselves. Not Cole Palmer. Ping, top corner. What a goal.
Don't forget, you can watch all the highlights on Champions League Match of the Day at 20 to 11 tonight on BBC One. And when you think that there was 23 goals in the 6 games last night, and this is certainly an entertaining game, 2-1 to Bayern Munich with 14 minutes to go to half-time. Liverpool are 2-0 up at home to Atletico Madrid. That should be a decent watch on BBC One.
Absolutely. Plenty of goals, but chances too, but also some great play.
Mention Anfield, Maz Farouki.
Better from Atletico Madrid in the last few minutes. Conor Gallagher working really hard in the midfield to try and create something going forward. Isak has had a bit of treatment as well on an ankle injury after what looked like a pretty hefty challenge. Still waiting for him to sparkle into life this evening, and it's still Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 0.
Thanks, Maz. This will be Gusto who'll go with a back pass to Sanchez. Chelsea in their royal blue shirts and shorts, playing from right to left as we look. Caicedo. Gusto in a central area out to Chalobah, who's coming forward almost as a right back. He feeds it forward, and Palmer now will run forward and makes good progress on that far side. He's now level with the penalty area, tries to come in between 2 Bayern players, but Pavlovic is there to clear. But because everybody was coming back, Cucurella is now in a chase with the ball and gets a blatant push in the back by Elise. That, I've got to say, to the great delight of the Bayern supporters. They enjoyed that.
Michael Elise knew exactly what he's doing there, knew exactly the reaction he was going to get, and I think he'll be quite pleased with himself with that.
It's like the Hair Bear bunch in a bit of a sprint chase with the dreadlocks of Elise and that mop of hair of Cucurella that went flying as he was knocked to the floor with a good old shove from behind. That's a sharp turn by João Pedro, almost overruns it, and as a result runs into Elise. And the referee sees it as well. I've got to say he's won that free kick as João Pedro, because he'd lost control of the ball, but he gets Chelsea a free kick in their own centre circle.
You know, what's he supposed to do? Evaporate? Run out the way? He's just stood still there. And he's ran into him, so that's tough on Michael Elise there. First one was a foul, not sure about that one.
João Pedro with a layoff for Enzo Fernandez. Loose ball, chipped by the outside of the right boot by Caicedo. Pedro Neto's onto it, left-hand side, enters the penalty area. Pedro Neto looks up, Conrad Limer's in front of him. Neto to Caicedo, and can't replicate his goal that he scored with such ferocity at the weekend. And on this occasion, a little bit off balance, it's right-footed, it's off target, goal kick, and Bayern still lead 2-1.
A bit of shame there, because Chelsea got themselves in a good position, and it was a little bit of rush of blood to the head for Caicedo. It was against Fulham, wasn't it? I'm trying to look at Brentford or Fulham. He scored, smashed it anyway. Brentford it was. Brentford smashed it. Absolutely brilliant thing. That one, he wasn't coming onto the ball. He was leaning back. Got it all wrong.
Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time then on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here is Elise once again. Certainly lived up to our expectation that we would get goals as Elise is able to run infield. Pedro Neto tries to bite into the challenge. The ball will run out and it will go out for a Bayern throw in front of Vincent Kompany, the former Burnley manager who won the title in his first season and has already added the German Super Cup at the start of this. And I've got to say they have been very, very impressive. 11 goals they've scored in their 2 home games in the Bundesliga this season. They put 6 past Leipzig and then 5 against Hamburg at the weekend as Pavlovic tries to drill the ball out to Gnabry on this near side. Chelsea get the ball away as a gentleman in front of us has got a real balancing act with a giant pretzel in between 3 steins. And I've got to say, he is spilling a lot of that lager as he makes his way down below.
For those of a certain age, he's doing worse than the people for next to knockout used to do.
2-1 to Bayern. Reece James comes forward now, the Chelsea captain. Has a little glance over his right shoulder and back to Caicedo. Vincent Kompany still hasn't changed his attire. Casual wear, baseball cap, they used to see it Turf Moor. Here is Cole Palmer, tries to thread it through to Gusto, succeeds. Gusto to the edge of the area, Gusto shot, strikes the body of Upamecano, comes out to Neto, his left-footed shot is off target on the rise. Goal kick, Bayern still lead 2-1.
Great play by Gusto there, he just goes inside, takes 2 players out of the play, actually takes 3 players out of the play there. I mean, it goes onto his left foot, so it's going to be tough for him, but yeah, it's good to see him going forward there. What he does then is push Luis Diaz back a little bit, who has had quite a quiet game, Luis Diaz, so far.
Yes, he has. Elsewhere, Ajax 0-0. Paris Saint-Germain, the champions, still lead Atalanta by a 1-0. Mas Faruqi with the latest at Anfield.
We've had what I think is a pretty silly VAR check for potential handball by Atletico Madrid in their area. Longlen clearing the ball away from Frimpong. The ball deflected up onto his arm as he slid into the challenge. I'm not really sure what he could do. The referee was sent to the pitch side monitor, but agreed that it was no spot kick. So it's still Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 0.
Thanks, Maz. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1 here in Munich. Certainly a lot milder than we were last here, Pat. In that playoff game when Bayern, I've got to say, made hard work of the game against Chelsea. What was it, -10?
Yeah, I'm still scared in many ways about that night.
Here is Elise. Elise into the area, cuts inside onto his left boot, then goes back the other way, passes it towards Kimmich. Elise actually comes to a standstill. Pedro Neto is there. Still, those must be at least 20 giant red and white flags. All sorts of variations are flying in that bottom tier of the 3-tiered end away towards our right-hand side, and then Bayern, who are playing from left to right, go all the way back towards Neuer. Stanisic gets the ball, infield towards Gnabry, lays it off towards Tar, the central defender. Harry Kane now drops deep, just outside the centre circle, chips the ball out towards Elise. Lovely first touch. Elise cushions the ball in towards Lima. That would have been a beautiful goal, but Lima's dragged it wide, right-footed goal kick. What a touch from Elise. 2-1 Bayern.
He is an utter joy to watch, Elise. Everything's done at a calm pace. He's completely in control, not only of the ball, but everything that is going around him just now. He is spectacular tonight. I mean, to be honest, he's not even needed to take Cucurella on, because he's just passed it through him, passing through the Chelsea defence, dragging players apart. He is fabulous tonight.
It was the weight of the pass as well, wasn't it? That Lima,
Yeah.
He just required one touch, then got it away.
And again, it makes it look easy. It looks like a very simple pass on there. The amount of players that don't do that, they flare a little bit too quickly. You know, they see a half pass on and they zip it through. No. Wait till the moment is right. Be aware of everything that goes on, and that's... I mean, we knew he was capable of a player before, and he was absolutely brilliant at Crystal Palace, but he seems to have grown even more since then.
Ball through the middle, Caicedo to Palmer. João Pedro going ahead of Palmer, who gives it now towards Neto. Neto was struggling to keep the ball in play. Falls over, lands into the advertising hoardings. He's getting slowly but surely back to his feet now. Then there's a slip by Elise. I want to ask you a question. We talked before about there is no recognised fullbacks for Bayern Munich. I'll wait though, because Bayern are on the attack, and Elise gives it to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz now to the edge of the area. Pavlovic joins the attack. Pavlovic, left-hand side of the box, sends over the cross. Tosin heads it away for Chelsea. Comes far to Stanisic. Gives it now towards Kimmich on the half-turn. Gnabry, 25 yards out. Gnabry now curls this ball in. Luis Diaz is there. They're appealing for a penalty, as the ball, I think, was trying to be clipped away from the path of Luis Diaz. It's gone out of play for a throw.
Well, the VAR will look at it. It's a lovely ball in there. Might have been offside. It's pretty tight.
It was Gusto, wasn't it?
I don't think there's any touch there. That would have been very harsh. It was a beautiful little dummy before. I think players time and again, Gnabry's trying to do it, Elise tried to do it. They're all trying to take the ball round Cucurella so they can get a very special round of applause from their own fans here.
Kvaratskhelia has got a second goal for Paris Saint-Germain. They lead Atalanta now by 2-0. Upamecano runs forward. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1, 5 minutes to go to half-time. Elise plays the ball into Harry Kane. Harry Kane looks for the first-time effort. Tosin had to match him stride for stride. It's gone behind for a corner kick. Harry Kane was clever there. Before the ball's reached him, he's had a glance already over his left shoulder. He knows where Tosin is.
Yeah, it's the second clever thing he did. The other clever thing is, when Michael Elise is on the ball, move. Because he'll find you wherever you are. And that's exactly what Elise did there. Whoever's doing the analysis later on, please do something, Michael Elise. It is gorgeous to watch.
Elise and Kimmich in having a little bit of a conflab about how they're going to work this corner kick. Bayern still lead 2-1, 4.5 minutes to go to half-time for what really has been an enjoyable contest. So Kimmich now walks away. Gnabry's there as the short option for Elise. They're attacking the Sud curve here in the Allianz Arena. It is taken short, and Gnabry is the one to stroke it towards Kimmich. In comes his cross, headed away by Reece James. Manuel Neuer actually enters the Chelsea half to pick up that loose ball, and then Kimmich with a diagonal ball that is floated that Gusto has to try and head away. Luis Diaz is putting him under pressure, and it will go out of play for a corner kick, and it succeeds, and Chelsea are under pressure at the moment.
Once again, when Neuer just changes the game, doesn't he? Because he's that far up the pitch, they recycle the ball that much quicker, and Chelsea hadn't got a chance to get out there. They managed to get a corner out of just about nothing.
I haven't forgotten that question that I'm going to ask you, and I haven't forgotten to go to Anfield. But we're going to go for this corner kick first of all, where Bayern, 3 minutes of this first half, have it on the far side, the left. And Kimmich, a little bit like a rugby union fullback, with 3 purposeful strides back, right up against the advertising hoardings, he's going to deliver it. In it comes now, it's a crowded penalty area. Sanchez punches it with both hands. Elise down into the ground, and just wide. Almost a third goal. Goal kick to Anfield, Masfarouki.
That's for a Liverpool third. Wirtz and Frimpong simply couldn't get the shot away in the Atletico Madrid area, and before that, really nice turn at the edge of the Atleti area from Alexander Isak before he just shot wide of the right post, but it was a lovely bit of skill. Still Liverpool lead by 2-0.
Ajax 0 into 1. Marcus Thuram has scored. So here's my question. We talked before about the fullbacks for Bayern Munich. Of the 4 fullbacks on the field, is Cucurella the one who's struggling the most? And has he been at fault?
He's not been at fault. I actually think he faulted at the first goal, definitely, because he didn't get himself back into position. They've not got beyond him a lot, but they've got through him because he's been outnumbered. And I actually just think it's more the pure quality of Elise more than anything else, more than Cucurella having a particularly torrid time in his own. But he is finding it difficult out there. But I think in this sort of evening, Elise could be doing that to anybody.
Well, here is Elise, and he's faced up straight away by Cucurella, who wins that particular duel. Enzo Fernandez then tries to switch it out towards Palmer, but it arcs its way clear of the England international and is picked up by Manuel Neuer over on that far side, who along the ground is able to give it towards Pavlovic.
Gary help at the side here was reminding me that Cucurella did give the ball away for the second goal as well. So yeah, I don't think he's going to get 5 out of 5 in the newspaper tomorrow.
Jonathan Tah along the back to Upamecano. Upamecano now will run forward. Luis Diaz comes into a central area. Chalobah has followed him out of defence. Konrad Laimer actually has now gone forward, trying to take advantage of that gap in the Chelsea back line, as Elise now will win a corner because he's across from the right-hand side. He's deflected behind up the legs of Cucurella. 90 seconds to go to the break. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1, 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
And what's very, very noticeable, because Elise is playing so well, Cucurella's tried to slow him down there. Pedro Neto's come back to help him. Sometimes it's Enzo Fernandez come back to help him. That's a problem, because the more players you get funneling back, the less time you've got to attack.
In comes the corner, and Sanchez can't get there, but he does get something on it as he tries to push the ball away, and Gnabry's quite happy for that to go out for a corner kick on that far side, the left. We're inside the last 60 seconds of this first half, and Gnabry is going to leave it for Joshua Kimmich to go out to that left-hand side to take it. Harry Kane lurks inside the 6-yard area. Stanisic stands inside the near post. It is an extremely congested penalty area, with every outfield player, bar 2, inside that penalty box. Lima just outside the D, Elise left corner of the penalty area. Obviously Kimmich to take it, and here he is, and he lifts it deep, and Upamecano heads it back. Tosin heads it away. Comes out towards Kimmich, left corner of the box, back towards Lima on the stretch to control it, 6 yards forward of the centre circle. Gnabry's forward ball, Kimmich able to turn with his back to goal. Luis Diaz now, man over on the left-hand side is Pavlovic. Diaz doesn't utilise him, instead sends over the cross. Tara stayed forward, and his header tried to pick out Harry Kane, but the flag was up anyway, and we're into 2 minutes of added time. Bayern Munich 2, Chelsea 1. Goal in the League Cup third round, Laura Kenyon.
Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 2, double their lead in miserable conditions at the stroke of half-time as Igor Jesus, with his second of the game on his full debut, open goal, couldn't miss. Half-time whistle's just gone. It's Swansea 0, Forest 2.
That's our other option and commentary on Sports Extra. Talking of which, of Sports Extra, tomorrow, Surrey, Nottinghamshire, a very interesting final day lies ahead at the top of the county championship between those two. Coverage will start at 10:25 on Sports Extra for that. Don't forget tomorrow as well, not only do we have Newcastle-Barcelona live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, but we will also provide you with an alternative listen, Manchester City-Napoli on Sports Extra. A choice of listening more than ever with Sports Extra, and streams of Sports Extra 2 and 3 available through the BBC Sounds app, as Chelsea try and beat the Bayern press in stoppage time here in the Allianz Arena. And then it is Tosin, whose ball to Enzo Fernandez. Upamecano gets there first, and Bayern now have the ball, and it is with Stanisic, the Croatian international, to Lima. Fair-haired right back, chips it forward over the top of Cucurella, prodded back by Elise, first time. Gnabry runs onto it, bypasses Harry Kane. Pavlovic towards Diaz. Diaz just outside the area. This now is Stanisic. He finds Lima, quickly shuffles the ball out towards Elise, right corner of the area. Bayern are threatening. Elise shot, charged down. Bayern will get a corner kick, 2-1.
You know, the more we talk about Cucurella, the more I'm looking at him now. Got himself in a terrible position there. Elise almost got away. I think his head is getting a little bit scrambled out there.
Well, this should be the last bit of action, I would think, of this first half. And Bayern are looking to finish it very, very strongly. They have a corner kick. Elise wants to take it. Chelsea have everybody back. Elise, left-footed, in-swinger, right down the throat of Sanchez. Another goal at Anfield, Mas Farouki.
And Atleti have got one back. We weren't expecting this just before half-time. Marcus Llorente beating Alisson in front of the Kop end as well. It's very quiet all of a sudden here inside Anfield. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
And that is replicated with the scoreline here. It's half-time in the Allianz Arena, whereas Bayern Munich are leading Chelsea by 2-1. A Chalobah own goal after 21 minutes, and then a penalty for Harry Kane, who had been fouled by Caicedo 6 minutes later. However, Chelsea responded, and it was Cole Palmer who reduced the arrears just 2 minutes later. Your thoughts, Pat Nevin?
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game, apart from anything else. Chelsea had come out to have a real go and put a little bit of pressure on it, but as soon as they toned it down a little bit, as soon as they sat back in a little bit, they were taken apart, and particularly on this right-hand side. And you know, when you come to see a Champions League game, you'll expect to see brilliant, world-class players, and we know that Harry Kane's one, but Elise tonight has been very, very special indeed. And we know Gnabry can do it, and Luis Diaz can do it as well, but there's something special of him. And many, many years ago, I remember going to watch a player when I was very young, and it was Real Madrid, and it was Laurie Cunningham, who was playing, and I watch Elise now, and he just reminds me of him so much. He glides across the ground in an almost inhuman way, and his skills are fantastic. His vision is off the scale. He has been a joy to watch tonight, and he's the reason why Bayern are winning. Having said that, Cole Palmer's not bad, and that was a great goal he scored to get this game much closer.
Chelsea are in it. It's been an enjoyable game, Mark. Bayern Munich 2, Chelsea 1.
That's some comparison part, that.
Yeah, I mean, sadly for those who are a wee bit younger will go, huh? But no, Laurie Cunningham was a fabulous player. I remember watching him at Celtic Park when he came with Real Madrid there, and honestly, the way he glided above the ground, it just didn't look human. It looked something else, a different species. He was that special. And you look at Elise just now, and he is gliding. He has control of absolutely everything. He's seeing everything. He's going by players when he needs to. He's passing them. He really is one of those players you would pay to go in and watch, and everybody in this stadium probably feels the same way.
So does Cucurella need help with him from whoever's in front of him, or as in directly in front of him out on the flank, or from inside from one of his midfielders?
Yeah, as a winger, I would go back and help him now, because it's just hard. And it's not that he's been absolutely destroyed 1-on-1 every single time. He's trying to go close, but because Elise is so in control of everything, he's just standing there with the ball, just doing little jinks but not moving. And then, someone comes over and he tries to close down as well. That leaves a gap somewhere else. And when there's a gap somewhere else, Elise will find them. And so you end up getting players dragging themselves back, and it can sometimes only take one player to drag a whole team back 20 yards. And Elise is doing that just now. So, yeah, Pedro Neto will come back and do that now and again, but he doesn't want to, because he wants to attack, but he hasn't got a choice, and that's something that we'll have to do something about in the second half, Chelsea.
And we'll be back there for the second half. So the home side 2-1 up in Munich, 2-1 to the home side at Anfield as well. Maz?
Yeah, it was a really fast start from Liverpool, who we've watched score late winners so far this season, haven't we? But their goals coming in the 4th and 6th minutes. Andy Robertson getting the final touch in the wall off a Mohamed Salah free kick just on the edge of the 18-yard box, which he pinged into a dangerous area. No doubt, though, that Salah will get all the plaudits for goal number 2. A 1-2 as he made the run down the right into the Atleti area. Vintage Salah, the defenders were scared to touch him, and he beat the keeper. Atletico Madrid, though, have got better as the match has progressed, and they've got back into it just before half-time. Marcus Llorente pulling one back and giving Liverpool something to think about. Half-time, Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
Goals in the other 8 o'clock games as well this evening. John Bennett.
Paris Saint-Germain 2, Atalanta 0 at half-time. Paris Saint-Germain superb. Not quite sure how it's only 2-0. The first goal for Marquinhos, the centre-back, pressing really well. He won the ball back, continued his run into the box. He turned in a Fabian Ruiz cross. And then 38 minutes, amazing solo goal by Kavica Kvaratskhelia. Picked it up halfway inside the Atalanta half, took it to the edge of the box. A rocket shot with his right foot. Barcola also missed a penalty before half-time. Luis Enrique, the Paris Saint-Germain head coach, watching this game for the second game running in the press box because he prefers the view up there. He's been inspired by rugby coaches. In the other game, Ajax 0, Inter 1. Marcus Thuram with the header not long before half-time from a Hakan Çalhanoğlu corner. Just before that, though, Mika Hertz missed a brilliant one-on-one chance for Ajax, but it's Ajax 0, Inter 1.
In the earlier game, Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2 is how it finished, and Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0 in the game between the Greek and the Cypriot sides. John, thank you very much. Half-time in the League Cup, going well for Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest. Laura Kenyon.
That's right, it's Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 2, the visitors lead, and it's a night to remember for Igor Jesus on his first Forest start. Fired home from a tight angle for the first before finishing off a team move on the stroke of half-time. Swansea far from outclassed, a slick surface and pressing high, vulnerable though on the counter. Ange Postecoglou, he's on course for his first win as Forest boss. Half-time, Swansea 0, Forest 2.
Sports Extra if you want to listen to the second half of that. During half-time, we'll head to the team in Tokyo after Jake Whiteman won Great Britain and Northern Ireland's first medal at the World Athletics today, and we'll do that after the news at 9 with Richard Foster.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Good evening. President Trump and the First Lady are guests of honour at a state banquet at Windsor Castle this evening. They've spent the day with the King and Queen, listening to military bands, riding through the castle grounds and watching a flypast by the Red Arrows. The royal chef, Darren McGrady, has cooked for 5 American presidents.
Pomp and pageantry is what we do best in the UK. And when you bring in the beautiful hand-painted mice and china, the table setting that's taken days to do for 160 people, and the beautiful gold on silver knives and forks, as well as the incredible food, it doesn't get much better than that.
More than 1,600 police officers are on duty in central London, where a protest against the state visit's taking place. Robin Welts from Fossil Free London is among the demonstrators. She told 5 Live the president's drill baby drill policy will lead to thousands of deaths from climate change. The US Federal Reserve has cut interest rates by 0.25%. That's the first reduction since the start of President Trump's second term. He's repeatedly criticised the Fed's chairman, Jerome Powell, calling him a numbskull for being too cautious. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, says she'll fight to end what she calls vexatious last-minute claims after an Eritrean man due for deportation was allowed to stay in the UK. His lawyers successfully argued he needed more time to plead his case. MSPs have voted to abolish the unique not proven verdict in Scottish law as part of big changes to the country's legal system. Stuart Munro is from the Law Society of Scotland. He says the change could cause problems.
We are a bit concerned about the proposal to abolish it because we consider that it's part of the mix that makes for a balanced and fair system. And our concern is essentially this: if you take one protection away, one leg of the system away, it puts the system out of balance, and you should be doing something about the other bits.
And researchers in the UK and Europe have used artificial intelligence to forecast what health problems people will have a decade into the future. The technology's learned to spot patterns in medical records to predict the risk of more than 1,000 diseases.
Weekend mornings on 5 Live. Saturdays from 9 a.m.
Patrick Keelty.
We have a lovely show coming your way this morning. Lots of sport, great guests.
And at 11, Fighting Talk.
With Rick Edwards.
It's the debates you have with your mates in the pub or the group chat, thrashed out furiously on national radio.
Sundays from 10.
Colin Murray.
Hello, everybody. If you have sport in your day, as always, let me know about it.
Weekend mornings
on BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sports, the Champions League with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Bayern Munich 2, Chelsea 1 at the break. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1 also at the end of the first half at Anfield. Great Britain and Northern Ireland have won their first medal at the World Athletics in Tokyo. Came in the men's 1,500 metres. The 2022 champion Jake Whiteman taking silver after being pipped on the line to gold by Portugal's Isaac Nader. The defending champion Josh Kerr finished last after picking up an injury during the race. So let's head to Tokyo now and join our team of Alison Kirbishley and Catherine Merry.
The British team have had to wait till day 5 here at the National Stadium to get their first medal. The men's 1,500 metre final had everything. Jake Whiteman collecting the silver medal. His teammates Neil Gawley and Josh Kerr, the defending champion, behind him, with Kerr limping over the line. Alison Kirbishley, it was a race that had everything, including Britain's first medal.
Wow. I think, Jake getting that silver medal, it meant so much. It meant so much to Jake, to his family, to the team, to the whole athletics family, because this is one guy, he was so popular. And for me, 3 years ago when he took the title in Eugene 2022, a surprising title, beating Jakob Ingebrigtsen in such a phenomenal way that night. It was through the night in the UK, and I never felt like he got the coverage that he deserves. It was a COVID delay. A year later, they had another World Championship, so he didn't get the chance to really enjoy that title for 2 years. He failed to make those championships because of injury, and since then it's just been a battle for him. He's been through some really dark times, and to come here in a year which has been really difficult in itself and to deliver and nearly get that gold, I mean, it was just, wow.
He was tactically just brilliant and did nothing wrong. But let's talk quickly about Josh Kerr, because everything went wrong for the reigning champion.
It did, and pretty much from the gun, he took a position right at the back of the field. He made a real conscious effort to do that. And very early on, he put himself in a position that we're not used to seeing him. He was in the pack. He never wanted to kind of get in on the action. It was all about the 20-year-old Niels Laros, who was one of the favourites. Former world champion Timothy Cheruiyot from Kenya. They took the lead. They controlled the race. Josh sat in the pack. We weren't sure whether he was clipped, whether he was stood on, but looking at sort of some of the replays, it looked to me like he pulled up with an injury, whether it was calf, foot. And then he limped round and he did a Derek Redmond, didn't he? He wanted to make sure that heart of a lion, he was going to finish whatever, come what may. And it was very, very sad to see. It's certainly not something that you want to see a defending champion do. And I thought it was really telling. You could see everybody's eyes in that race looking up at the screen because they were wanting to know where Josh Kerr was. Pretty much stopped on the final lap and then started again. And yeah, I mean, there'll be none more so concerned for him than Jake Whiteman because they are good friends, and it is sad to see.
So Jake Whiteman picking up Britain's first medal with a silver, Neil Gawley finishing in 10th and Josh Kerr crossing the line eventually in 14th. Tomorrow, what have we got to look forward to? The men's and the women's 200 metres semi-finals. Zarnell Hughes goes on the men's side, Alison, but all three British women led by Dina Asher-Smith as the fifth fastest qualifier. Amy Hunt and Daryl need to go.
Yeah, and they all looked so good. Considering they're all doing the double, they looked fresh because all three of them have reason to be disappointed. I guess Dina Asher-Smith maybe less so because she did make that 100 final, her 13th World Championship final. So Amy just missed out by a place. Daryl just missed out. So I think, there's some kind of business that needs dealt with there, and all three of them looked so impressive going on to the semi-finals.
Women's 400 metre final tomorrow. Amber Anning goes. A tough ask for the British record holder to pick up a medal in that one. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone on fire in the semi-finals. But also tomorrow, Alison, another medal surely is coming for the British team eventually because Keely Hodgkinson starts her campaign in the 800.
Well, we've talked about favourites and there have been some upsets. I'm looking at the men's 10,000, Jimmy Gressier, and I think that there are some nailed-on favourites, and I would say Keely Hodgkinson's one of them. She's come here after so little racing, but she came out with a bang. World lead this year. She's not going to have it her own way, but Mary Morra will be up there wanting to take this title back. Keely Hodgkinson, first heat, coming into a stadium that has happy memories for her 4 years ago where she took that surprise silver medal.
Keely Hodgkinson, her training partner Georgia Hunter-Bell start their campaign in the 800 metres tomorrow. Day 6 is upon us, but the British team are up and running with that silver medal from Jake Whiteman in the 1500 metres.
Catherine Merry and Alison Kirbishley out in Tokyo. Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin are in Munich as we wait for the second half to get underway. Bayern lead Chelsea by 2-1. I think when you summed up the first half, Pat, in your first answer once the half-time whistle had gone, you said actually Chelsea got themselves into trouble when they dialed it down a bit. So do they dial it back up and try and take the game to Bayern then?
They can try.
Exactly.
It's easier said than done, and these circumstances, Bayern, when they get ahead, usually they can control games, but they haven't completely controlled it all. There have been periods where they've had most of the play. I think they've probably had slightly more of the play than Chelsea have had. But does that really mean that Chelsea are not going to have their own moments? Yeah, they're going to have their own moments. And one of the other things about it, maybe it's been dialed down a little bit, but Chelsea on the break looked brilliant, particularly on the right-hand side. And every time Cole Palmer's got the ball running with it, he's destroying Stanislav's shoes, playing in the left-back area. And I just wonder if they can possibly do it. Will Bayern make a change in that position? Because it's been so easy for Cole Palmer and others, Gusto a couple of times as well, going down that right-hand side. But it's an open game, and I think it's adaptable, this game. It will change a little bit. I'm intrigued to see what the managers do with the changes of personnel and system in the second half as well.
Still waiting for the teams to come out at Anfield, where Liverpool lead Atletico Madrid by 2-1. Inter are a goal up in Amsterdam against Ajax. Paris Saint-Germain lead Atalanta 2-0 at the break. See all the goals tonight. BBC One 10:40 Champions League match of the day with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Leon Osman and Julien Laurent. If you want now on the iPlayer on the BBC Sport website or app, you can click on Champions League final score. You'll get the video printer and all the stats alongside second half commentary from Munich with Pat and Ian.
Thank you, Mark. Should be a good show that for you later on as the two sets of teams take to the field and the Bayern supporters have unveiled a banner. 20 is plenty, the only reasonable price cap. There will be many who would agree with that. The Bayern change, incidentally, is that Min Jae Kim has come on for Jonathan Tah, who'd been booked in the first half, as the second half gets underway with Jose Maria Sanchez, the Spanish referee. So Kim, the South Korean international, very experienced, who they bought from Napoli for 50 million euros a couple of years ago. He comes on for Tah, who'd been booked. I'll run through the two teams for you in a moment. Chelsea in this second half are attacking that Sud curve. They're playing from left to right as we sit left of the halfway line here in the Allianz Arena. Neuer is in goal then. Lima, Upamecano, Kim and Stanisic is the back four for Bayern Munich. Kimmich and Pavlovic with Elise on the right. Gnabry central, Diaz on the left behind Harry Kane. As Gusto is forward here, and Gusto didn't control the ball immediately, but he's still chasing after it. Plays it back towards Palmer.
It's been offside for about 10 minutes.
Good job as well, because we're now going to have a procession of spectators who are going to walk within touching distance of the aisle just towards our right-hand side, and they will just keep on coming for about the next 5 minutes with the pretzels and their liquid refreshments. And you think, can you not get back in time for the kickoff? Anyway, the Chelsea side is Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Tosin, Chalobah and Cucurella, James and Enzo, Caicedo, and then Neto, João Pedro and Cole Palmer for Chelsea. 2-1 to Bayern Munich. Pat?
Yep, interesting to see the second half started very, very similar to the first half. Chelsea haven't made any technical changes at all. Trying to get Enzo Fernandez on the ball a little bit more in that kind of 10 position. He's not had a great effect on the game. And if you're playing someone more of a 10, you want them to be controlling parts of the game. You just wonder if at some point they'll try and get Cole Palmer into that more central position so he can be more effective more often.
The 10th goal of the night in the 4 games that kicked off at 8 o'clock has gone in Amsterdam. Ajax 0, Inter 2 is now a latest score as Pavlovic floats it forward. That had to be a well-timed header from Chalobah. They must have jarred knees there with Stanisic. The ball goes through the middle meanwhile, and Tosin is the one who just gets his studs on it to prevent it from reaching Luis Diaz, but the referee has stopped play. It's not a head injury. You can clearly see that Stanisic is holding his right knee, but the Spanish referee has blown his whistle, and there is a stoppage. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, he came down at a really horrible angle, and well, he wasn't static when he came down, so it doesn't look as if it's a twist, but it was a horrible angle that he came down in, and he's not acting down there, I would say that. What Chelsea are annoyed about is the referee allowed it to play on with Bayern on the ball. As soon as Chelsea got the ball, he stopped the game. If you're going to stop it. You don't wait until it changes possession. And Chelsea are negatively affected by it, but he's limping, and I think he'll be okay.
This is Bayern Munich's 29th campaign in the Champions League. Only Barca and Real Madrid have played in more in 30. They reached the quarter-finals last season. As Harry Kane just watches Tosin and Cucurella in front of him pass the ball around the back, up towards João Pedro, holds off Kim, and then James plays it out towards Palmer. And still they file in next to us as James then dives forward and wins the ball. Holds off Gnabry, the Chelsea captain, plays it back. And now this is Chalobah, Caicedo, James, tight triangular passing from Chelsea. Kim steps out of defence, Luis Diaz nips in to win it for Bayern. Runs away from James, good sliding challenge, got the ball well, did Malo Gusto. And Chalobah with a back pass towards Sanchez. 4 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live, also available on the BBC Sounds app and on the iPlayer, the red button, and the BBC Sport website if you wish to see the video printer, where you will see the results earlier. Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0, Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2, and the latest scores of Ajax 0, Inter 2, Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1, Paris Saint-Germain 2, Atalanta 0, and in the League Cup third round, Swansea City 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Commentary of that's on Sports Extra.
Yeah, and just looking at the ball played over the top of Stanisic in the left back area there. Nobody near him when the ball was played over, and he just went down, and that's never, ever a good sign. Typical Chelsea, like any team, they saw that there might be a weakness there, pinged the ball straight over the top of the injured player, and he just went down there and stopped, and I think they may have to make a change soon.
This is clearly a recurrence of the knock that he picked up, isn't it, with Chalobah? And the thing is as well is that he actually missed 32 games last season with a knee injury. So whether he's sort of like agitated that old injury, but he's unable to continue. Let's go to Anfield. Maz Farouki.
Liverpool attacking towards the Kop in this second half. They haven't made a change at the break, neither have Atletico Madrid. They have a bit more bounce about them after pulling back that goal late in the first half, and they've started the second half pretty brightly, the La Liga side. It's still Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
So Stanisic comes off. Sacha Boey is the player who's come on, a French defender, a right back who was released by Rennes. And when I saw him for Galatasaray, you know, he's a very attack-minded right back, but he's gone in on the... No, he is playing as a right back. So who's come across to left back? Lima. Lima's come across to left back. So Lima, who'd been getting forward, but Boey will get forward at every opportunity. Paris Saint-Germain have got a third goal against Atalanta. Paris Saint-Germain 3, Atalanta 0. That's a fine start to the defence of their trophy for the European holders. Chelsea still trail by 2-1. James passes the ball back to Chalobah. Chalobah now with tossing outside the centre circle. Cucurella plays the ball forward. João Pedro holds it off, does well. Ball is forward towards Neto, finds him. Neto now goes on the outside, left-hand side of the box. Neto turns. Pedro is still there. James joins the attack, the Chelsea captain. It's a low right-footed shot, but it's pretty weak. Straight at Neuer, 2-1 Bayern.
Delightful play by João Pedro there. The ball's come up to him. He's under all sorts of pressure. The two centre-backs are, you know, Upamecano and Kim. They are both units, absolutely. But he's fought his corner, he's laid off balls, he plays as a link-up man as well as a straight-forward striker. And he's actually been very, very, very impressive tonight, João Pedro. Almost put Pedro Neto in there, but he just couldn't get his feet right again.
Here is Gusto. Chalobah on the halfway line, short and square. Hugging the width on that left touch line is Pedro Neto. He heads it in field now to Fernandez. He plays it back out towards Pedro Neto. Head down goes on the outside of Boey, who manages to bring the ball away. Helped out by Upamecano and swept to safety for Bayern Munich. Tosin will take it back into Chelsea territory. The bald-headed Endo Maresca, the Italian coach, patrols that expansive technical area in front of us.
You know, 2-1's not a horrible score, but you may as well go for it for Chelsea. When you're down, it's a league scenario that they're in just now, so you just wonder if, you know, will Chelsea think and make a change? And if you're making a change, it's going to have to be a forward-looking change. Do you consider bringing Estevao on the far side? It's a possibility.
The ball has been chested by Luis Diaz. It enabled Gusto to run in field with the ball, then he loses it just outside the centre circle. Elise's forward ball, scooped long up towards Harry Kane, and it bounces through towards Robert Sanchez. Philip Jorgensen played a lot in Europe last season, and Enzo Maresca was actually asked in the press conference, you know, what are you going to do about your goalkeeping situation? He said, well, Sanchez will start, but Philip will see a lot of game time, whether it be in the Premier League or indeed the League Cup, as Cole Palmer, his attempted cross, charged down. In fact, next week Chelsea will be at Sinsel Bank. We'll have commentary indeed on Tuesday night on 5 Live. So from the impressive surroundings of the Allianz Arena to Sinsel Bank that holds just over 10,500. It'll be quaint and it'll be tight.
But they will be going via Old Trafford, so that'll be lively.
Yes, the games will continue to come thick and fast for those in Europe and domestic competition. Unlike Manchester United, who have already been knocked out. Ball forward, Upamecano cuts it out. Pavlovic now with a face mask, loses his balance. Caicedo tries to win it back. Boe has got to tidy it up, and then it's cleared by Neuer inside his own penalty area. 10 minutes into the second half. Opens up now for Kimmich to run forward. Charging through the midfield, and the red shirts are joining them. One of them is Harry Kane, now towards Diaz inside the penalty area. Diaz shoots right-footed, straight at Sanchez.
I mean, a great break. I mean, the real top teams know how to break well, and it's going to be a joy to watch both of them at it tonight. Obviously Chelsea scored when Cole Palmer had a fantastic break from his break in his own half, but his 4 passes, they're all right, they're all made the right pace, and they all see the right one. And Kimmich, he was superb in that one, and just a shock. That was the only disappointment about that. I don't think Luis Diaz caught it at all well enough.
That's Pat Nevin, who recently celebrated his birthday, so belated birthday wishes to you, Patrice.
Oh, by the way, I'm enjoying my present of these good players here. What about that nutmeg there by Cole Palmer? It was brilliant. He said, changing the subject very quickly.
I never mentioned your age. Here is Cucurella out towards Pedro Neto. Chelsea still very much in this game. Pushes the ball on the outside of Boe, and Boe stands up to him, and it'll be a Chelsea throw. Last came off the French defender, who arrived in January 24 from Galatasaray, and this is his 29th appearance since, as Chalobah along the ground towards Gusto. Vincent Kompany animated on that technical area, wants those players to push on out in the red shirts of Bayern Munich. Caicedo chips it forward. Lima now playing as a left-back, requires Kimmich to tidy up with a back pass all the way towards Neuer.
Like the first half, the first 10 minutes been not bad for Chelsea, not put under massive amount of pressure. It's not as if Bayern have come out here and controlled it and dominated it and pushed Chelsea back for this second half, and I think Enzo Maresca will be pleased with that, because he'll set his team out to say, look, don't be frightened of this, it's great chances. However,
Lima links up with Diaz. Lima now runs forward, he's got options to left and right, he goes towards Harry Kane on the left, and Harry Kane's left-footed shot is saved by the legs of Sanchez behind for a corner kick. Bayern still lead 2-1.
Again, Harry does everything right, doesn't he? Brilliant overlap there, the ball being held up well. And when Kane, if he sees there's going to be an opening at all there, Kane will make the run. Gets it on target. Maybe his first touch wasn't absolutely perfect. Takes it a wee bit wider than he would have liked to with his right foot. And that gave the goalkeeper a real chance to close down the angles and managed to save it with his feet.
I've got to say, every time I see Conrad Lima, he impresses. He never ever stops. He's so versatile as well. Right at the heart of that move. Corner kick then for Bayern Munich. Kimmich to take it. It's a short one on this near side, the left. Gnabry. Elise's left-footed cross. Upamecano is there. Headed out by João Pedro. Picked up by Boe over on that far side, the right. Neuer, how far he is out of his goal. His touch outside the centre circle. Upamecano has stayed forward. He's the one charging on that right, but he can't keep the ball in play. It'll be a Chelsea throw deep inside their own half. Guess who's going to take it?
That is interesting, you're talking about Neuer. Every time you see him, you know he wants to play out. He doesn't want to play in goal, so he gets up the pack as much as he can. By the way, Cucurella is deliberately taking his time there, enjoying, is that the right word? A little bit of intention.
He's certainly playing up to his role, isn't he? Is Cucurella, as now it's a Bayern throw midway through the Chelsea half, as every Bayern supporter now is clapping in unison and rising to their feet in this arena that holds 70,000. Opened 20 years ago. Incidentally, we talked about Newcastle-Barcelona. John Murray informed me at half-time that Newcastle-Barcelona and that Asprilla hat-trick was 28 years ago today, 17th of September. Two great headers. I recall Keith Gillespie gave the left-back a torrid night for Kenny Dalglish's side. I wonder if Newcastle United will be able to replicate that famous win against Barcelona tomorrow. You'll hear it all in the build-up from 7:05 on BBC Radio 5 Live with Manchester City Napoli on Sports Extra. But here we are in Munich. We've been playing for nearly an hour. And Bayern still lead by 2-1, and it's tight at Anfield too. Mas Farouki.
Yeah, still Atleti push. Raspadori forcing the save from Alisson Low to his left, and Arne Slot has made the changes in response. A triple sub: Ekatike, McAllister and Bradley on for Frimpong, Isak and Gakpo. Isak with a couple of chances as he tries to get his rhythm with his new teammates. Still Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
Well, in the meantime, what a save from Sanchez, because Bayern Munich have attacked down the right-hand side. They've pulled it back, and Sanchez has pulled off quite a brilliant save, because Bayern Munich, with Harry Kane with the cutback and Elise unmarked running in, great one-handed save by Sanchez to keep Chelsea in it.
It is a great save, and it is a great athleticism. It's a bad miss. He's only 7 yards out. He's only getting the keeper to beat. He's being set up perfectly by Harry Kane there. Great play by Bowie down the right-hand side there. But that should be 3-1. Absolutely. Elise, I've been talking about how great he's been so far in this game. That's a bad miss.
They've had 3 excellent chances now, Bayern, in the second half. You think of Diaz shooting straight at Sanchez. Kane kept out by the keeper's legs. And then that one-handed save as well. Bayern could easily have restored their 2-goal cushion. As it is, they lead by 2-1.
And that's the point you're making there. They're not absolutely dominated in the second half, but they've made chances just too easily, you know, when they've got in that final third. And that's what that Bayern Munich are all about now, isn't it? In the final third, they are a very, very special team. So when they've got there, and that's a second half so far, they've invariably made a good chance.
Well, this is Pavlovic carrying the ball forward. Passes it to Gnabry. Been quite quiet actually second half so far, Serge Gnabry. Here is Kimmich outside the centre circle. Now with Kim, the South Korean international defender. Lima playing as a left back. Diaz is in close proximity, former Liverpool player. Lima wants to go on, he wants the ball, but instead it's towards Kimmich in field. And now Pavlovic outside the centre circle. Pavlovic towards Gnabry on that far side, the right. Pedro Neto has to get back, goal side in front of him. Diaz, Bowie's sharp turn, right side, sends over the cross. Harry Kane too far over his head. Nobody running in behind. And Gusto can run it clear for Chelsea as they still trail 5 live. Pat Nevin.
He's really caught the eye, boy, hasn't he, the second half?
Lima's dispossessed Palmer. Harry Kane now left corner of the area, moves further away from the penalty area. Kimmich passes the ball out towards Diaz. Harry Kane had made the run down the left, not used. Back towards Kimmich. They've certainly got options here. Kimmich floats it forward. Comes awkwardly off the thigh, but Elise gets it towards Pavlovic. He gives it back towards the Crystal Palace player, and Bayern Munich are threatening. Here is Boué, the right back. Elise, far side. Pavlovic playing in and around the penalty area. Boué enters the box, plays it back towards Pavlovic. Chelsea have everybody back offside. That was a late flag. A very, very late flag. Free kick Chelsea.
But it was a correct one. Boy had just gone offside. There's an odd thing happening just now. Boy's coming in right back, but he's so desperate to get forward. He's actually killing a little bit of the space that Michael Elise wants to use on the right hand side there. So whereas Elise was 1-on-1 quite a lot, now when he's getting the ball, he's not.
Harry Kane picks up a loose ball, and Harry Kane scores. Chelsea giving the ball away. Straight towards Harry Kane, who had only one thing on his mind. Sanchez was still getting back into position, and Harry Kane, right-footed, restores Bayern's 2-goal cushion. They lead Chelsea by 3-1. Harry Kane has got 2 of them.
I mean, first of all, Harry, brilliant. I mean, we were talking beforehand about Harry Kane, and I rate was one of the great world strikers for many, many years. But Chelsea give the ball away too easy. Gusto loses control, tries to dive in to get the ball away with a toe poke, but what he's done is put it straight into the path of Harry Kane. You just don't do that with Harry Kane. He's still got a defender tossing in front of him. He's still got a goalkeeper to beat. Does he care? Not in the slightest. He just caresses it round the defender into the back post. And Harry Kane, once again, what a scoring season he has had yet again. Is that his 10th?
It is. Wow. Takes him into double figures. The mistake from Gusto was more like a pass towards Harry Kane. And you've got to feel for the goalkeeper, because Robert Sanchez, when he initially passed the ball, he's sort of like the right side of his penalty area. He was never set, was he, Sanchez?
And you can't get set in that situation. It's almost impossible to do so because you're out of position. And if you're out of position in that situation, you don't know where your goals are necessarily. Having said that, he could have set himself all night long. I don't think he would have saved that anyway. That was curled into the bottom corner, and at the moment they're absolutely cruising Bayern Munich, even so much so that they can make a change here.
So Leon Goretzka has come on, and he has replaced Pavlovic in the midfield. Very experienced, 63 caps for Germany, and over 250 appearances for Bayern Munich. Chelsea are also going to be making change. There is activity down on the bench below, but Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1, and Chelsea contributing really to their own downfall. But Bayern deserved that goal. They have been threatening.
And it does underline, again, we've said it since before the game started, when you go into the Champions League, you come against a very, very top side. This is a different level. If you make a mistake, it gets punished, and it gets punished very, very quickly. And, I mean, lots of the Bayern players have looked special. Elise is very special. But there's not that many players in world football that will punish you so viciously as Harry Kane when you give him half a chance.
So Andre Santos and Garnacho are going to be coming on. Chelsea are making a double change.
And you just wonder just now, is that, to give them a little bit of experience? So Garnacho, obviously, I don't think he'll be particularly affected by it. I was wondering if Esteval would get the shout. I suspect Pedro Neto might make way. He's not had great impact in the game, but then again he's been doing a lot of defending because he's had to help his fullback.
He scored in his last 2 appearances for Tottenham against Chelsea, did Harry Kane, but overall he lost 11 of his 22 games during his Tottenham career against Chelsea, but it's now not only 10 goals for the season, for this campaign. Harry Kane has now scored 10 goals against Chelsea during his career. He'll be loving a hat-trick, I'm sure. Although, will we see potentially Nicholas Jackson on loan from Chelsea come on against his parent club now that they've got a 2-goal cushion? Made 45 appearances for his Bayern debut against Hamburg at the weekend. But Bayern, as we approach the midway point of the second half here, are in control.
And almost the fans have said, oh, we've won this game now.
It's gone quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah, gone very, very quiet. I mean, they spend a lot of time watching games here where, they need the backing of the fans, and then they win the game, they go, that's fine now, we can just enjoy it. And right at this point in time, that's exactly what these Bayern fans are doing. They are relaxing into a lovely, warm Munich evening.
They've won the ball again with Elise linking up with Gnabry, and then he slows down on the halfway line. Bayern lead by 3 goals to 1. Gnabry with a little flick inside towards Harry Kane. Now they're giving it the Olays, the Bayern supporters, as Goretzka powers his way through the Chelsea midfield out towards Diaz. Now they've woken up. This is Diaz once again. Diaz pulls it back to the edge of the area. Goretzka, they're queuing up. Bouet, they've doubled up on that right-hand side. Here is Elise. Oh, that would have been a super goal. He's curled it just wide. Out for a goal kick. They are enjoying their football. There's been a goal at Swansea City. Laura Kenyon.
It's Swansea 1, Nottingham Forest 2. The Championship side pull one back. It's not over yet. Glancing header from a corner. Cameron Burgess, the captain, with a good finish inside the box, sets up a dramatic end here. Swansea 1, Forest 2.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Update from Anfield, Maz Farouki.
Mo Salah has hit the right post, just dragging his shot off target as Liverpool swept forward at pace. A lovely counter-attacking move. They look certain to score, but they're having to weather some stern Atletico Madrid pressure in the second half, Liverpool, but they still lead 2-1.
Thanks, Maz. Garnacho has come on for Pedro Neto. Andre Santos, the 21-year-old Brazilian, has come on for Reece James in the midfield. Because, as Pat has mentioned already, Chelsea go to Manchester United at the weekend. Commentary, incidentally, on 5 Live. That's a 5:30 kickoff on Saturday evening. Pat will be at Old Trafford as part of our team for that one. And then Lincoln away on Tuesday night. Again, commentary of that on 5 Live. So the games will come thick and fast for Chelsea as Bayern are looking for more goals here. And this is Elise out towards Boe. On the overlap is Elise. Elise makes that run. 12 yards up, links up with Boe once again, and he's enjoying his football as Elise. Gnabry wanders over to get involved as well. Just over 20 minutes remaining. Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1.
They've stepped it up, haven't they, Bayern Munich? There's a real total swagger about the play just now. Every player wants the ball. There's the odd flick and the odd trick just now. Even Harry Kane, he's coming into the game, dropping a little bit deeper, playing that slightly more false 9 at the moment. Chelsea have no idea what to do with him.
This is Diaz, strokes it all the way back towards Kim, and Kim to Neuer. Didn't stay silent for too long, did it?
Yeah, it's as if the players went, oh, you've went quiet, we'll lift you a little bit. They had that brilliant piece of play where they held the ball as a couple of back flicks, ended up with a brilliant shot from Michael Olise there, just went past the post, but it just underlined Bayern have got a couple of years, haven't they? And when they needed to, it just went through them there.
Here is Goretzka, his ball cut out by Palmer. If you look though, the top 6 spenders of teams who have reached the Champions League are all the Premier League clubs. Liverpool 415 million, Chelsea second with 285 million, then Arsenal, Newcastle, Tottenham and Manchester City, who have spent 176. But it doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't buy you that right to compete. And Chelsea, who've got some tough trips, it's got to be said. They've got to go to Napoli, they've got to go to Atalanta, Karabag away, that's a bit of a trek too. Karabag, who performed an excellent result against Benfica last night, coming from behind. So Chelsea, although bearing in mind that you've got to still finish 9th to 24th for the playoffs, you'd still expect all 6 English clubs to do that. As Olise charges after that ball and gets there first, right-hand side. Cucurella backpedals. Olise cuts into the penalty area, closed down by Cucurella. Matched him stride for stride and got the block in. But they've lost the ball again. Picked up by Harry Kane on this occasion on the right-hand side, and there is Enzo Fernandez, the Chelsea captain, now in the absence of Reece James, and Chelsea should clear their lines.
Actually, brilliant play by Cucurella. I think he's injured himself just with that tackle. It was a block tackle when the shot was just about going away.
Garnacho now runs forward. João Pedro is the player who provides the width on the left. Chelsea royal blue shirts and shorts playing from left to right. João Pedro gets away from one challenge. Santos lays it off. Caicedo midway through the Bayern half. Santos once again. Palmer totally unmarked on this near side to right. Now level the area. Left-footed cross into the penalty area. Flying header out by Kimmich. Maresca turns away in disgust and bemoans as he bounces his way back in frustration to that dugout down below. But Bayern Munich are at walking pace. That's how much of a control they have of this game with 18 minutes remaining.
It was interesting. I would say for the first 20 minutes or so of the game they didn't have control of it. Then they had a little period of decent control. First 10 minutes of the second half they didn't have a control of it. Now it's utter domination. They're absolutely winning this stadium, and they do look as if when they want to step it up they can step it up. But you know, Chelsea have got some good players out there, and if they could just sneak a little chance here and there, they could make the last certainly 20 minutes or so interesting. But if I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, it doesn't look like it just now, does it?
Certainly doesn't. And we have 18 minutes remaining. Remember, we're on air until 10:30, then Tony Livesey takes over on 5 Live. Palmer's forward ball. João Pedro makes the run, can't roll away from Kim, who's tight behind him. Has to lay it off instead to Gusto, the right back. In the Bayern Munich half, Gusto to Santos, gets it back from Caicedo, gives it back to Caicedo, who now with Enzo, and he quickly passes the ball on towards that far side, the left. And Garnacho now will run forward with a little bit of pace. Left corner of the area. Enzo Fernandez cross, takes a deflection, loops in the air. Little flick on as well into the penalty area. Lima is the one who is deep to head it away. And was there a foul there? Yes, there was. That was just a lazy trip, really, by Luis Diaz. And he's given away a Chelsea free kick just up from the byline, right-hand side of the penalty area.
Yeah, good place to get one. Chelsea can get the big defenders and centre-backs in particular into that area. I mean, it looked a wee bit like a forwards. Oh, actually. It is one of those, it looks horrible because he studs right down the Achilles of Malo Gusto there. So it looks ugly. But have a look at Gusto's eyes where he's not looking at it. He's looking elsewhere. He's looking at where the ball is. So it looks as if it's one of these where, oh, you check that for a red card. But did he really mean it? Only he will know at this point in time. But that will be a painful one. No doubt about that.
Well, he's back on his feet, is Malo Gusto. It was his mistake that led to the third Bayern Munich goal as they lead Chelsea 3-1. Still feeling the effects, though, of that challenge by Diaz, who just stands behind that vanishing spray. to cut out the option for Manuel Neuer to protect that near post. Enzo Fernandez now is going to take this free kick. Chelsea trail by 3-1. A few yards up from the byline on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Tossing is forward from the back. In it comes, doesn't beat the first man, strikes Luis Diaz, and Palmer on the volley. A rather tired effort off his left foot, drags it well wide. Goal kick, 15 minutes remain. Bayern well in ahead, 3-1.
There's no surprise there's a little bit of tiredness there. When he's had an injury, obviously Cole Palmer just coming back. He's done a lot of running today as well. I also think he had a wee bit of a swing at that, because he knew he was up against a player who was closing him down, and the player was Elise, who doesn't look tired just now. He looks like he could run another 90 minutes on top of this one.
Adam Fleming actually is standing in for Tony Livesey tonight at 10:30, because Mark Chapman's got to spend so much time in makeup. Alistair Bruce Ball will be taking over the reins, presenting 5 Live Sport to take you through until that point. Here is Andre Santos, and now with Cole Palmer, goes short and square. He'll be being pampered that much, will Herr Chapman. He won't have heard that barbed comment, I'm sure, with 15 minutes remaining. Garnacho plays it all the way back towards Sanchez. Reminds me when I used to go on the TV for transfer deadline day, and they went, "Do you want makeup?" And I went, "No." And the makeup girl, she looked at my bald head and she went, "You need it." Free kick.
I'm trying to keep quiet at the moment. I did the Champions League show for a couple of weeks when the Celtic and Rangers were still in it a few weeks ago. I didn't spend a lot of time in makeup. I think it's because they forgot about me.
14 minutes to go to half-time. I wonder how you would want to dress this up for Chelsea. We'll try and bring you as much reaction as we can. If not, it will be in the 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning from your usual outlets, with the thoughts of Enzo Maresca and also Arne Slot, if Liverpool can hang on to that lead that they currently hold, Mas Farouki.
And he's watched his side with another really big chance. Great work going forward for Salah, the cut back into the area, but Ekitike couldn't get there, Wirtz couldn't get there. So who has Slot turned to now? Young Rio Nagumoa has just come on. We played 75 minutes, it's still Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
Bit of a tussle there between the Harry Kane and Enzo Fernandez, and it goes in favour of Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea get a free kick, but didn't he do well, Harry Kane? He picked the ball up midway through the Bayern Munich half and ran forward almost to the edge of the penalty area in the Chelsea half. Well, there was a Chelsea player down actually towards our right. Chalobah's down.
Yeah, Chalobah went to tackle Harry Kane. Look how far Harry's run the ball though. It's almost from 118-yard line to beyond the other 18-yard line. Players try to tackle him, and they couldn't get it off him until eventually Enzo Fernandez got it off him. But now certainly he's gone down there, and that looks like he's done his shoulder a little bit when he's gone down. It's hard to keep your eyes where they should be at the moment, because
well, we were, like you say, we were following the action, weren't we, to the to the left, but Chalobah is at least sitting up.
It's just the way he went down. I think he's maybe he's tried desperately to get hold of Harry Kane, but he just slightly pulled his shoulder out, and then having pulled it out a little bit, he's then fallen on it, which is a bit of a shame. When you look at the way Chalobah's actually in various points played well today, but that is not the point. It's about the big moments, and in the big moments Harry Kane stood up, and he's just he's cruised away from the likes of Tosin, he's cruised away from Chalobah, and Chalobah unlucky scoring the own goal as well. But had he not had a touch on it, there was a tap-in at the back post there, so there was nothing much he could get up, and McCann was right behind him. Interesting to see Chalobah just now, because he's been breaking forward a lot in the second half.
Well, he's back on his feet, looks like he's going to come back onto the field of play. Bayern still lead by 3-1. Here is Harry Kane out towards Elise. Elise was trying to come into a central area, almost to create an opening for Bowie to come running forward from right back on that far side, but he couldn't get the angles right, couldn't switch it. In the end, they've had to go back. Chalobah is back on the field of play. Esteban is going to be coming on, so Chelsea are going to make another change, as Bowie now does get forward into the penalty area right-hand side, tries to lay it off into the path of Harry Kane, but it's picked up by Sanchez, and he'll scoop that ball up and toss it out underarm towards Gusto, but he's quickly closed down by Diaz and then back with Chalobah, who tees it back towards his goalkeeper. First control inside that penalty area is a forward ball then towards Caicedo. You like Estevão, don't you? One of the highly rated players from Brazil, this 18-year-old, signed for £29 million.
Which I suspect will be a gigantic bargain in time. 18 years of age, and the bits that I've seen of him, the skills are staggering that he's got. But, you know, there's lots of things to learn, there's a lot of maturity, and he's playing against a different standard now than he has been for quite some time. But he's one of those players, like Olise, you want to see him on the ball.
João Pedro collects the ball midway through the Bayern half, out to Gusto near side the right. Cole Palmer now has it 30 yards from goal. Infield, João Pedro wriggles free from Goretzka, looks to link up there with Santos, then loses the ball. Kimmich just breaks up the play so effectively, and now Diaz, who's closed down, lays it off towards Harry Kane. His forward ball towards Diaz, who's continued that run, collects it now right side of the centre circle, tries to switch it back out towards the left foot. Gnabry, the interception though from Gusto. 10 minutes remaining and Bayern still lead 3-1 on 5 Live.
It's interesting what Harry Kane's done, isn't it? You know, he's not playing a centre forward at all now, almost a central midfield position he's playing. In fact, he's away back defending it right back just now, but he knew where the space was, he knew he could control the game a little bit more, and he's gone and done that. He just looks so special. Well, don't you know who's been taken off there? He's forgot to press the button. The assistant referee down there.
Enzo Fernandez is the player who's going to be coming off. So the captain's armband that initially started with Reece James, been passed to the Argentine, will now be handed towards Moises Caicedo, who gives Enzo Fernandez a little bit of a hug and embrace. And it's an attacking change being made by Enzo Maresca. Tried to ask him last night in the press conference about what his expectations are for this Chelsea side in this league phase. Remember, the top 8 automatically qualify for the last 16, 9th to 24th during the playoffs. Last year Liverpool topped the group 21 points. Villa, who finished 8th, qualified with 16 points, and then it was a combination of 15 to 11 points that got you into the playoffs. So with another 7 games remaining, there is still plenty of scope, even if it does mean that Chelsea back in Europe's elite competition open up with a defeat here in Munich. But it was always going to be a tough task against the 6-time winners of Europe's top competition. And such a formidable home record too. With 8 minutes remaining, they lead 3-1.
I was going to say it's going to be the toughest task, the hardest place to go to. Napoli's not easy. No. The final game, that's going to be a tough one as well. But it's a tough place to come, especially in your first game. But the way the Champions League works this year, these are not necessarily games that get you through. It's the other ones.
Lima tries to feed it down the line, comes off the legs of Gusto. It'll be a Bayern throw over the halfway line on this near side. Chelsea certainly indebted to Sanchez, who's kept the scoreline down in this second half. Don't forget, Champions League, the highlights on BBC One tonight at 22:11. So 10 minutes after we come on air, you can switch off your wireless if you don't want to listen to Adam Fleming, that is, and then turn on your TV and watch the football for all the action that you've listened. And you might well see a 4th goal that's just gone in at Anfield. Bas Farouki.
What a way to equalise from Atletico Madrid. Marcus Llorente with the volley, which left Alisson with absolutely no chance. It's 2-2 here now.
Liverpool's next match is away to Galatasaray. They face that trip to Istanbul. So Ajax 0 into 2, Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 2, Paris Saint-Germain still lead Atalanta 3-0. The results earlier: Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0, Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2. Don't forget, tomorrow, live commentary from St James's Park, Newcastle against Barcelona on 5 Live.
It'd be a huge disappointment if Liverpool don't get the 3 points. You know, being ahead 2-0 at home, everything in your favour. But then again, they have scored the odd late goal.
Ball played forward. Here is Diaz. Flag stays down. Diaz enters the penalty area. Diaz denied by Sanchez. Flags up again. Another late flag by the assistant referee on the far side. And actually, in the process, has been caught a combination of Sanchez and Cucurella. Cucurella is feeling the effects. He's holding his knees, but Luis Diaz has actually stayed down.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I mean, it was a tight one. The assistant referee's right to leave that. I mean, he can't be 100% sure of that one. Just seeing the tackle. I think Luis Diaz's right ankle seems to get trapped under the tackle from Cucurella. He got a little bit of a kick as well, but he's got up and got on with it. Both of them have, so that's good, no serious injury, because that's the thing everybody hates. You let it, you know it's offside, or the assistant referee feels he knows it's offside, has to let it play on. By the way, that's the second time Elise's done that to Cucurella.
Elise just checking Cucurella, who falls to the floor, and Elise gets a yellow card as a result, although he's being applauded by the Bayern Munich supporters. Such are their feelings, their ill feeling towards Cucurella. What have you made of Chelsea's performance second half, Pat?
I would say this is a fair result at the moment. Bayern have been the better team. They've turned out when they had to. Chelsea have they've not been embarrassed. They absolutely haven't been embarrassed. But you can see there's a lot to learn. And it's not just in those big moments, you know, where they've lost the goals. And by the way, that's a wipe out in the middle of the field there. And the most obvious yellow card that you're going to see today.
The red and white flags are now held aloft as Konrad Laimer has been booked for Bayern Munich. And now Palmer out towards Garnacho. Bayern still lead 3-1. A number of Bayern supporters. I actually thought for European and international games it was a reduced capacity of 70,000, but it's a sellout tonight. 75,000 inside the Allianz Arena. And that bottom tier in the Sud curve, the scarves are aloft, a little bit like you imagine the Kop at Anfield with the flags flying, as they are certainly enjoying their night. Kim prevents the ball from going through towards João Pedro. Estevao picks it up out towards Garnacho. Garnacho on the left. His cross in towards the penalty area. Kim meets it, heads it away. Picked up by Chalobah midway through the Bayern half. We've got about 4 minutes remaining here on 5 Live. 2-2 at Anfield between Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. Cucurella, his forward ball to Estevao. They just haven't really made an impression, have they, in an attacking sense in this second period?
Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't blame João Pedro for that. He's not got a lot of help out there. I think when you get a little bit of tiredness from Cole Palmer, that's made a big difference to the game, because they were breaking quite well before that. But midfield, they've been second best.
Here is Garnacho, quickly closed down by Bue, the right back. Garnacho touches the ball back. Cucurella midway through the Bayern half. Bayern at this stage are happy to drop off. Ball clipped over the top. Garnacho with a first-time cutback, swept up in the air by Kim. Won't go out necessarily of play. Cucurella challenging Elise. They've had a good little battle. Cucurella is the one who keeps the ball in play, and Caicedo now has it and along the ground. But they're having the ball now, are Chelsea, because Bayern have dropped off. It's not Chelsea forcing Bayern back. Bayern are the ones who are happy just to let Chelsea have the ball at this stage. 3 minutes remaining of normal time. Back to Anfield, Mas Farouki.
We're approaching Arna time as Liverpool push for a third, push for the win. Konate's just headed wide from a corner as Liverpool are really pushing forward now to try and win this match. 86 minutes played, Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 2.
It's 3-1 here to Bayern Munich, live on BBC Radio 5 Live, and then Gnabry with a back pass all the way towards Manuel Neuer. Neuer will clear. Pat.
You were talking earlier on about the costs of both teams this summer, but it's a cost to the teams over a longer period of time. It's most interesting. Chelsea, however, will argue that they're buying for the future.
Estevao stumbles, still manages to deliver the cross in towards the penalty area, but Bayern have enough red shirts there to deal with that. Harry Kane's even back there helping out. Bue is the one who'll run it clear, and then Harry Kane is the one who's trying to get forward on the end of it, on the halfway line, but they lose it. Garnacho now into the penalty area. Garnacho shoots, but Manuel Neuer, just such an imposing figure, and he was well set, and he was calm and composed, and actually with one knee on the ground, gathered that ball in at his near post, as Tom Bischoff is going to be coming on. He arrived in the summer from Hoffenheim. He's actually made 3 appearances in his Bayern career, because his debut was against Benfica in the Club World Cup, but at a total of 1 hour and 13 minutes for the German international midfielder. He's going to come on for about the last 90 seconds of normal time here in the Allianz Arena, as Cole Palmer comes forward, and Cole Palmer manages to nudge the ball past Manuel Neuer. The flag has stayed down. Bayern switch off. Cole Palmer gives Chelsea late hope with his second of the night. Bayern 3, Chelsea 2.
Well, there is a good argument. We've just seen the pass of the night. That was utterly brilliant. Now, Cole Palmer, he's kept on going, he's kept on running there, but the pass through there, I'm trying to see who it is. Is it Santos that plays the ball there? I was kind of hoping it was Esteval that played the ball through there, but Cole Palmer is the one that's thrown through there. Lovely defence-splitting pass, and it is Andre Santos who's played it in there, and much to the shock of everybody in the stadium, with a minute to go, Chelsea got it back to 3-2.
Incredible, really, because there didn't appear to be any jeopardy in the game whatsoever. Now, the game hasn't restarted, so there's a VAR check for a potential offside. But as you say, the pass from Santos, and it's going to be ruled out anyway.
Such a shame, because it was a beautiful pass. We're actually in the far side of the ground here, so it'd be impossible for us to be able to tell that. But we've had a little bit of a look at it. It gives Bayern Munich the chance to play, make that little change down there. Or is it two changes they're making? I think
there's going to be two, and Nicholas Jackson is going to be coming on as well, on loan from Chelsea to face his parent club. So Tom Bishkoff is going to come on, and he will replace Serge Gnabry. By my watch, we're into added on time now. The fourth official, I don't think, has come up to show his electronic board. And then Harry Kane, with 2 goals, takes the acclaim from the Allianz Arena. When I spoke with him ahead of the game, he said he hopes for a very good night. Well, he certainly had that, both professionally and personally. And Nicholas Jackson, as we're going to have 6 minutes of added on time, he comes on to replace Harry Kane. 81 appearances for Chelsea and 30 goals in his 2 seasons at Stamford Bridge. Nicholas Jackson is on. He is eligible to play, although Maresca was asked in the press conference last night. He said, I'm not bothered about it. Happens in Spain. Yep. Happens on the continent, in other countries, in Italy. And in fact, it happened in Germany, because Stanisic a couple of years ago was on loan at Bayer Leverkusen and played and scored against Bayern Munich indeed.
And I think it should be the norm. You should be able to play.
Yeah. So he's on, and there's been a late goal at Swansea. Laura?
Swansea 2, Nottingham Forest 2. The Premier League visitors let slip a 2-goal lead. It's all level in this third round tie. Jan Vipotnik with a neat little touch to put it in the back of the net from close range. With 3 minutes into 6 added on, Postecoglou stony-faced. It's Swansea 2, Forest 2.
And of course there's no extra time. It'll go straight to a penalty shootout. Commentary of that on Sports Extra. Here we are on 5 Live on the BBC Sounds app with 6 minutes remaining. Chelsea thought they'd got a goal back, but that was ruled out. So it's Bayern 3, Chelsea 1. Kimmich now has gone down with a wrap around the ankles, feeling the effects of that challenge, and he's being hauled to his feet by Elise.
Yes, been phenomenal, Kimmich. I mean, he just quietly does the right thing. Time and time and time again. It doesn't matter if you throw him at full-back, centre midfield, even further forward than that sometimes. He is just an 8.5, 9 out of 10 every single time. Brilliant player.
Paris Saint-Germain have got a 4th goal at home to Atalanta. Paris Saint-Germain 4, Atalanta 0. Inter still lead 2-0 at Ajax. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 2 is the latest. Cole Palmer picks up the ball on this near side. Goretzka slides across. Out of play, it goes for a throw. Let's go to Masrouki at Anfield.
Liverpool are peppering the Atletico Madrid 18-yard box with corners in the last few minutes of this match. We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time. Kerkez has just come on as a sub and has just gone close, just off target. Still 2-2.
Chelsea lost the ball there. Nicholas Jackson, inside the centre circle, went for an ambitious effort to try and chip Sanchez from a long, long way out.
Right, this may sound harsh. We should have done better. You should really get that on target there. That's actually not that difficult a skill. The real skill is spotting it. Keeper's miles off his line. All you have to do is get it up and over his head, which is not difficult from there. He's actually miles over the crossbar there. Now give him his due. He's just on. He's a bit excited and he's put a little bit too much power on it. But it could easily could have been done there.
There has indeed been a late goal at Anfield. Masparouki.
I can't hear anyone. Someone's going to have to cue me.
Hello, Maz. There's been a goal. Tell us all about it. Here is Garnacho in the meantime. Garnacho pulls it back. The noise, clearly Liverpool have scored, but the noise is so loud as Gusto now fires over cross, turned behind by Kim, but Mas actually couldn't hear us. Virgil van Dijk has got the goal in the 92nd minute. Liverpool with yet another late goal lead Atletico Madrid by 3-2, and when it dies down, we can try. Maz, we couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear us.
Well, right at the end of the match, in stoppage time, haven't we seen it before from Liverpool this season? From a corner, from the right, Virgil van Dijk heading in front of the Kop. Liverpool 3, Atletico Madrid 2.
Thank you, Maz. Ajax 0-2, Paris Saint-Germain 4, Atalanta 0 are results. We're still playing here in stoppage time. We've got about 90 seconds remaining. Chelsea have a corner kick. In it goes towards the near post. That was Esteban with his effort. He loses the ball, blocked by Upamecano. He leads the counter-attack. Bayern Munich now. Challenge comes in from Tossing. Got the balls as the referee. Cole Palmer now picks it up. Garnacho has gone away towards his left-hand side. Here is the Argentine, enters the penalty area. He falls over inside the box. João Pedro takes over. Edge of the penalty area to Garnacho. Garnacho, though, snuffed out by Kim. Cucurella back towards Palmer. Chelsea still fighting on, despite the 2 goals they need to try and reduce. And the ball is picked up by Neuer. Elise went herring away, but Neuer hangs on to the ball. And there's also been a late goal at Swansea in the League Cup 3rd round. Laura Kenyon.
Can you believe it? Swansea 3, Nottingham Forest 2, and Forest are absolutely stunned as Swansea grab what surely will be a late winner. Cameron Burgess pokes home after Forest didn't clear their lines. It's Swansea 3, Forest 2.
2 goals from Swansea in injury time in the 93rd and 97th minute at the Liberty Stadium.
It is wild, some of the late goals you get at the moment. Actually, do you know, Chelsea late in this game, I would say the best period of the second half has been the last 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, you could say the game's over and, you know, a lot of changes have been made, but Chelsea made a couple of chances there. But Liverpool, I'm beginning to think it's not a fluke that they score these late goals.
But with this game, would you agree, though, it's because Bayern have dropped off?
100%. Oh, yeah, 100%.
There is indeed the final whistle. A tough lesson for Chelsea on their return to the Champions League, as Bayern Munich have won their opening game now in each of the last 22 Champions League seasons, and they've beaten Chelsea by 3-1, and it was very much a deserved win. Pat Nevin.
Wasn't quite men against boys, but certainly Bayern Munich are a good distance ahead of Chelsea here. You see the mistakes that Chelsea made. At times it was slightly naive and they were caught out, and it wasn't just for the goals, it was for a whole raft of chances apart from that. But you know, you get that with young players coming into this competition, they will hopefully learn from that. But you look at Bayern Munich, they've got some extra special players. Talked all about Elise in the first half, and he was very, very special. But as the second half developed and went on, Harry Kane was that good. He bestrode this match again. Yes, he scored 2 goals, but apart from that, he was the one that looked like a man against boys today. He was very, very special. One of the main reasons why Bayern won 3-1 at a relative cancer.
A Chalobah own goal after 20 minutes, a Harry Kane penalty 7 minutes later made it 2-0. Chelsea within 2 minutes had reduced the arrears through a fine goal from Cole Palmer, but Harry Kane, after a Gusto error, put it 3-1 up for Bayern Munich just past the hour mark. Cole Palmer had a late goal ruled out after VAR through offside. It's finished at the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1. Ali.